Right now, my primary swing thought, I guess, is to kind of stay left arm connected off the ball. My tendency is to go to the right, and if the shaft's promoting more right, then you're in a bit of a fight. You're going right, and after a while, you start fighting that, and it can throw your swing off a little bit. Balancing it all out.
Rotate a little bit more. Staying centered and complete in the backswing.
How hard I rotate.
Get back to the fundamentals.
Adam Scott needs no introduction. A major champion, a player's champion, and a global icon.
It's official. Victory number 14.
His golf swing is the envy of many. Indeed, his is the Rolls-Royce of golf swings, in my opinion. So sound, so aesthetic. It looks like it fell out of heaven. And he has parlayed that golf swing and his consummate skill into a potential Hall of Fame career.
And this absolutely hammered right down the center of the fairway. A gorgeous tee shot.
Averaging more than 313 off the pop for Adam Scott.
That was unleashed on a beautiful line.
Yeah, that's perfect. Right over the corner of those trees, just creeping over that ridge.
Trevor, the old boy's got a little gas.
Oh, yeah.
It's so amazing to me, the speed that he's still able to generate. In fact, I think in a lot of ways, he's gotten a bit faster. I know technology may have something to do with it, but he works so hard on that part of his game.
7 of 12 today hitting fairways.
Wow.
Make it 8 of 13.
I mean, that is really good.
Down there in the
free zone.
The Australian is so fundamental in everything he does. He has mentioned to me in the past that he really focuses on fundamentals at setup, because if he sets up well, he basically sets up success in his golf swing. Now, his setup to me is characterized by a situation where he bends from the hips, but there's a little more pressure forward in the shoes here, so he has the shoulders hanging out just a little bit more beyond the knees than most. But that for me allows him to turn around this angle here, the angle of his spine. And you'll watch a centrality about him that helps with the aesthetics of the golf swing. So we'll draw that as a reference right over there. What also helps the aesthetics and the consistency, to be really honest, is what I call the cone of success. So that cone of success is defined by a bottom line, which is the shaft of the club at address. There's a top line, which is the golf ball just over the top of the shoulders. Now, as Adam moves back and forth, you're going to see him operate around that spine angle, and the club shaft and the club head will always stay inside of that cone for success. So off we go. As the club sweeps away, you can see the body begin to rotate, one piece away from the golf ball, club shaft, club face hugging the bottom portion of that cone. That is magnificent over there. Arms in front of the body, trail elbow in front of his body a bit more. I like that look. It'll help with the arms getting too far behind, because if the arms are too far behind, especially with Scotty, then he can block one off to the right-hand side. From there now, the body continues to rotate, and the arms will sweep up in the middle of the cone and find their way towards the top of the cone there. Of late here, he's been working on controlling the length of his backswing a bit more, but fundamentally so sound. Hips turned, knees underneath him, pressure in the back foot, left arm straight across the shoulder, club face perfectly square with that awesome wrist condition. From there in transition, that whole system is reversed. The hips lead, the lower body leads, he unwinds. See the club shaft fall down the cone to a situation where the shaft is on the forearm and right back on the bottom of the cone. Now he doesn't lose posture shape. He continues to unwind the core as the club now releases back into contact. Look at that, almost right back where he began. Now as he exits, the job is done. The ball is struck. He just continues to rotate, so the club shaft remains inside of that cone all the way to another balanced follow through. And what you got to do too, just to make it cooler, is match your socks with your outfit. That red sock look, pretty cool. As he goes through there, It's iconic, that follow-through. But if you want a really sound, really fundamental model, look no further than Adam Scott.
One of the nicer drivers of the golf ball throughout his career. It looks like all things firing on all cylinders at the moment with that club.
Oh, that's what you want to see.
Yeah. Center cut.
This one's absolutely piped right up the middle. He's just so supple. There's so much elasticity still to his swing.
Yes, and at 181 ball speed will get it done.
He's not going to let those young guys outdo him.
Adam Scott screams fundamentals with everything that he does. As I'm looking at him here, the only thing I could critique was perhaps the ball position, which is a little farther back, but perhaps he was trying to draw this driver. All that being said, though, first let's start with the grip, because the grip is your only connection with a golf club. As you look at Adam there, so very fundamental. There's a little line that's formed by the thumb and the forefinger, if you group them together on the golf club. And you see how both lines there, left and right hand with Adam, look towards that right shoulder? That's as fundamental as one can imagine. Look then too at the tilts in the body. Just a gentle tilt off a really sound hip action angle at address. Very well plugged into the ground. Feet just gently spread to allow good rotation. This is just a case study in what to do to set up a good golf swing. Then, key to good golf swings, especially with a driver, is a sweeping wide action. Every great driver of the ball, from Jack Nicklaus to Tiger Woods to Adam Scott, they've had a wide sweeping action. And watch how Adam will set that up with a long sweep of the club away from the golf ball. And watch how far he gets the club head away from his body right there. See, there's a beautiful gap between the right thigh and the club shaft. In fact, I always check for this. If you dropped a plumb line down from the handle of the club to the ground, it should be outside of the trailing foot. Adam's done that. Then look at the extension here between the lead arm and the club. Maximum extension. Now watch how that gap, this area right here, it doesn't get any narrower. In fact, Adam will look like he continues to stretch the handle as he approaches the top of the swing. Body stays centered, big stretch in the arms all the way to the top. See that how the body rotation and the arm swing finish together. If those arms cheated, they would get to the top of the backswing before the bodies quit winding. There's Adam, still evergreen as ever. He's picked up a lot of speed in his golf swing. In fact, he's averaging 119 miles an hour right now, which is elite. It's that big, wide wind-up. Now from here too, I want you to watch coming down. He doesn't give up that width. Watch how it almost looks like he'll pull the handle away from him on the way back down. Ben Hogan described it as if you were pulling an arrow out of a quiver on your back. So watch this now. No narrow body leads. Look at the width in the arms down to there. That is majestic. Eyes in behind the golf ball. That's holding his center. Hips unwinding. Chest still closed to the target. That is gorgeous. Now you'll watch the eye line stay back. The trail elbow will extend as he now hits maximum extension at contact. See, create that extension by pushing up off the ground so both arms can hit their radius back in front, the upswinging attack because of the tilted shoulders. Now, watch on the way through. Radius not given up. You're going to see a collaboration, a straightening of the right arm and the club. Look at that full extension from the trail shoulder all the way to the club head. This is just a picture in everything you want to do. As we take this to the follow through, you'll see him easily slow down into a balanced follow through. It's a symphony. And if you want to learn, you might not swing it like Adam because he's wildly talented, but you can do the basics correctly. You too then, if you just do the fundamentals well, can build this Ferrari engine inside of this Rolls-Royce chassis. This thing is beautiful and so effective.
Sweet swing right there, 9-iron coming in from the right.
The second shot for Adam Scott.
Pins in the back here, you don't want to go long.
And that's ideal, right under the hole.
Adam Scott still has one of the most aesthetically pleasing swings in the sport.
Yeah, Adam works so hard at it, and I think a lot of it has to do with his level of fitness. He's stayed strong and flexible and healthy throughout his career, and that's why he's hitting shots like that still.
Apply a little pressure with the birdie here.
That's way up in the air. Oh, yeah.
What a shot from Scott. And this will be for his third 2 of the day.
Here's Adam Scott with a short iron in hand, 8 iron or so from about 180 yards. Now, as we just let him swing through, I want you to get a sense for the timing of things. So we'll let him go and watch how it looks like the club swinging back leads the turn of the chest, which leads the hips. Then on the way down, those reverse, hips, then chest, then arms on the way through. Again, that adds to the aesthetic of it all. The sequencing of those moving parts lends itself to really reliable ball striking and a nice looking golf swing like Adam possesses. So on the way back, it's club, upper body, hips. On the way down, you reverse that trend. Now going back, I want to zone in on how Adam's lead shoulder works and how that will lend itself to really good compression. So at address, very sound, very fundamental. So we'll take him away. Now I want you to watch this lead shoulder, how it travels almost downward and across. So it works down and works across and underneath the chin in that sort of a fashion. So that's gorgeous at the top. Now see that, and you will watch as we transition how that lead shoulder will travel lower than where it was on the way down. Let's watch this happen. So as he transitions down, the hips lead. See how that left shoulder gets lower. Watch how it's almost like that left shoulder moves away from the chin, down and toward the ground. That is gorgeous. One more time, down towards the ground. That sets up a really sound spine angle to cover the ball and strike the ball well at contact. So as the shoulder moves down and across, now he's covering the ball. Chest is right on top of it, and as he's covering this golf ball with a chest, just like that, you see how he can get his hands in front of the golf ball? Look at these beautiful wrist alignments here. See how the right wrist is still a little extended. It's putting some angle on that shaft. Look at that lead wrist, the glove hand. Very neutral, very strong left-hand wrist. That's presenting a very, very stable, very appropriate club face over there. Just perfect stuff. But that covering move allows that club face to show up like that on the correct path at the correct time. And that's a function of how that shoulder works down and across. Now from here, the job's done. So all you do is you continue to move, you follow, you respond to the mass of the club, and then you stick the follow through. Because if you swing it like this, folks, people are going to want to take pictures. Swing it like this, you'll be well on your way.
At the 12th?
Oh, and is that any good? That back right hole location is a very difficult spot to get to.
Massive drive. This hole aided by the wind, helping it left and off the right.
Oh,
easy, jumping it all around him.
And the second from 112 for Adam Scott. Can just attack this, get it all the way to the hole. Right at it. We've seen a few like that today. Hanging in there. He's going to get it to 11 under.